Hello everyone and welcome to another Pokemon Pocket video. Today we're going to be looking at a new sustain deck that we put together today, focused around Indeedee and Espeon. Indeedee I think has been a little bit underplayed. I think I've only really seen it in Altaria lists at the moment, so we're going to be checking out to see how it does. It's done well for us today on stream. As you can see, we do have the Indeedee there, and not only does it give the healing, of course, to the active Pokemon, which when you have two of them, suddenly healing for 40 every turn, which is really strong, but also its psychic ability is pretty good. It stacks up really quick. It doesn't look like much, but 30 extra for every energy on your opponent's active is really strong and can basically two-shot the vast majority of Pokemon in the game. And with the additional healing that you have for Indeedee, as well as the likes of Cape as well, makes it kind of difficult to one-shot for a lot of lists. So let's check out the rest of the list here. You can see it on the side of the screen as well, but we have two Espeon EX. Again, once you have an Espeon and two Indeedee, or two Espeon and one Indeedee, you can start doing a ton of healing, so that other than the biggest of hits, you can almost recover fully from the majority of things. This does exceptionally well against electric decks as well, because they don't normally hit super hard, which means you can recover the health and just start knocking out Pokemon from your opponent. To round out the list, we do have Giratina, again, just that backup big hitter if you really need it. And also, we do have a Dawn in the list that you can turn one Giratina and then Dawn attach onto one of your two energy cost attackers as a bit of a surprise attack for going first, because it is one of the weaknesses of the deck. If you go first and don't have Giratina and Dawn, you are a little bit slower. It's fine because we have Sustain with all the heals, but you are just a little bit slower. You would rather go second most of the time. And then we have Sableye in here. It's just the easier Pokemon to be able to deal with Oricorio as Psychic. I will say, however, even though in other videos and other decks I've looked at Relicanth because I do enjoy not discarding cards from my hand, the key factor here is the one retreat cost. Our deck is very heavy on needing 2 energy or more to attack, and you can't really afford to just throw away energy retreating constantly if you don't already have your energy set up, which is where the Dawn comes in as well. So that is going to be all the Pokemon. Of course, we have the Boosted Evolution EVs, mainly, again, if you're going first and they hit you quick, you want to be able to just get the Espeon down, reduce your hand size, and start healing as quickly as possible. We have X Speed to bail out on something especially early on if we need it, if that energy is a little bit tight. We have the Pokeballs. We have the one Eevee bag, which I guess is a flex slot, but I felt like it was pretty powerful on whether it needs to heal the Espeons for a little bit more, or deal that extra damage, which can help out in some matchups. We have Capes for further sustain, knocking that health total a bit higher. Putting Indeedee to 150 feels quite good. Espeon to 160, of course. And of course, Giratina is going to help out a lot. So that's pretty easy. Then we have the 2 Research, 1 Sabrina, 1 Cyrus, and 1 Copycat. So pretty straightforward set of like trainers and tools and things, but the deck has great sustain even though we don't run any extra support or heals. However, it is something you could experiment with. We are going to play the 3 games as usual, so stay tuned. Let's kick them off. Okay, let's get into game number 1. We are going first, so this is not really what we're after. This could be a tough matchup as well if it's Blaziken. I think the hardest matchups are probably Absol EX going if they're going second, and then maybe Blaziken if we can't get like the early attacks down. So let's have a quick look what we have access to here. We can drop the Espeon, that's fine, just get it done. The 10 damage to the air Entei wouldn't really matter anyway. And I think we will just redraw this hand, I think. I think it just gives us the highest chance of getting Giratina. I'm sure someone will do maths, but I feel like shuffling 3, drawing 4 gives us a higher chance of just hitting it. And we don't, but we do have Sableye and another Eevee, okay. You have to be a little bit careful with the bench here as well, because there are a lot of times you might want double Espeon, you might want double Indeedee, you might want space for a Giratina, you might need the Sableye. Probably don't need the Sableye in this matchup, but still. You do have to think about not just throwing cards or Pokemon onto the bench. Oh, so this is probably not the best. They're going to go energy on the Entei, which is fine. We do have the Indeedee now as well, which can be pretty useful. We'll just keep things simple here. But with the Espeon and the Sableye, this is looking pretty good. I think I'm just going to early Sabrina, Because it means they don't have an energy in the discard pile, as you know, as soon as they could have, and it allows them to just say, well, okay, if they have a retreat card, sure, but if they don't, we can then start attacking these Entei. And we do have Sabrina that we've just used, and we have Cyrus. However, it looks like they're just doing Blaziken things, which can be a little bit difficult to deal with. Oh, and they're going Sabrina on us. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, we do have card draw. The X speed would be perfect right about now. We have Cape and Giratina. Okay, we can Cape over here. We can pre-put the energy on Indeedee and just tank the hit. But because of that, we're going to just get the Giratina down. It's a turn later than we would like, but we may as well just utilize having that extra energy. Because energy management, very similar to the Espeon Sylveon days, energy management is important because you don't really have a good way to ramp outside of Giratina, and everything needs 2 to attack. Okay, this is getting a little bit scary. So we will just attach an energy to Indeedee. We can heal it for 20. And we will actually just go in for the 90 here. The idea being that, I mean, I guess they can retreat and knock this out. This is the scary thing. Fire Patch is just too good. They can just retreat this Entei, which they're probably going to, and then just... Oh, they're not. Okay, that's interesting. Not that it overly matters. But now we've got at least a good energy base up. And play Pokeball to draw the other Indeedee. We give the heal here to go up a little bit. Can then hit the retreat. Now this is where we're just terrified of Cyrus, and this is the problem with this, like, against this deck. They draw so much that they're likely to just have Cyrus if they run it, so we've got to just hope they don't have it. We do get to knock this Entei out, and this Espeon does survive the Blaziken as long as they're not running red as well. But the problem with Blaziken decks at the moment, I feel like they can run anything in terms of the supporters, so it's hard to gauge. There's a second Blaziken, okay. Yeah, that's not really what we were after, but we'll still do what we can. We do have the other Indeedee for some damage as well. Which is a little bit rough. Although I think we go Sableye here. Oh, hang on. We research first. It's the other Espeon. How many cards left? 3 left. So I think actually we're going to go the other Espeon now. We may as well throw the Indeedee down. And the reason we go the other Espeon is if we get the other Cape, we can at least potentially get some damage off. But it's going to be very difficult because we've not had time to ramp this Giratina. It's definitely very scary. I'm just going to pump the EV bag now. It's one of the reasons where, like, EV bag, for example, you could change it to a red. The only thing I was a bit aware of is just we are running a lot of supporters, and you can only use 1 per turn, right? So it's kind of hard to judge. So they aren't going to retreat this Blaziken, which was interesting. I think I would have looked at retreating and just bringing in the other one if they have Fire Patch. They only have 2 cards left. We really need the next Cape, though. That really hurts. Okay. That's going to hit us pretty hard. We don't heal from the burn. It doesn't matter. We weren't going to leave it in anyway. There's the other Cape. so we can heal up. Not that this is probably going to matter, I would guess. Heal up again. Then we jump back. And we're going to Espeon. This is where things get rough. We heal again. And now we go for the attack here. We have to just hope they don't run 2 lilies, but again, the problem with the volume of cards they draw, and because we don't run red card, they basically will draw the whole deck, as long as it goes okay for them. Mars doesn't... Well, we kind of needed Dawn a little bit there, so this is rough as well. There's the retreat. Okay. Okay, still just about kicking. There's X speed, which doesn't necessarily matter. So what we need to do now is we need to heal. Again, doesn't really matter. We then hit the retreat. Let me think. Yeah, we hit the retreat. Go into Giratina. We energy the Giratina and Space Bellow. They probably have Sabrina or Cyrus, but if they don't, then we top deck Cyrus, go for the Blaziken. Oh. Oh. Don't have Gooseman. Okay, 1 in 3 to win the game. The heal on the burn is actually big. Oh. Okay, so we go watch over. Heal for 20. I cannot believe we won this game. It's all just about the planning. Add the last energy to Giratina. Go for the Cyrus on this Blaziken. Don't ask me how we did it, but we did. We out-healed a double Mega Blaziken, double Entei opening when they drew that whole deck. Worked out pretty well. We got there in the end. So not a bad win. I'm glad I could show off the sustain in this first game. However, it does require a lot of planning. Okay, let's go into game number 2. Honestly, after game 1, I'm kind of happy with any outcome at this point because I feel like that was a good win. We are going to go second. And this is interesting. We're against water. I think I'm going to start Indeedee here. The problem with water is we are very likely either against the Suicune Greninja deck or... Okay, Suicune Greninja. Or we're against Gyarados. And you kind of want to set up in different ways. Like, against this, we really want to just keep these 2 on the board and just cycle heals and try and get it done that way. Because if you reduce the damage from Suicune a little bit and hope they don't just fill their side, because if they fill their side, we're in trouble. Okay, we're in trouble. Then you could actually out-heal a good chunk of Suicune's damage. And the fact that we're going second actually does help us a lot here. Oh, no, do we want a Giratina? I am already scared about this open, though. I think, you know what? I think I do want Giratina. And I think we go Copycat here. Just to redraw up. Okay. Sabrina's not so bad. What you can do a lot of the time is Sabrina the first energy on the Suicune away and then hit and then do stuff like that. The frustration here is they also run a lot of sustain, so they have normally 1 to 2 Iridas. They sometimes have Cape. They obviously have Greninja, and now quite commonly Greninja EX in there as well, which can be a pain, especially against the Sabrina. So it begins, yeah. Just in case anyone wasn't aware, Suicune Greninja is still very good and arguably still one of, if not the best deck in the game right now. Maybe not strictly just the best like it was before, but it's still very, very much up there. So they're doing 120 damage. So without any extra... Oh, okay, this is nice. So we can cape. Go for this. And now the big question is, do we want to Sabrina? So if I Sabrina, I hit for 30. This is if we were the other way around, if we had Espeon, this is very different. Because if we Sabrina, we hit for 80, right? Which is a big deal. Here we can hit for 60 and they have to heal. Yeah, let's just, I guess we just go aggro. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, that's 100, okay. It's a little bit scary. We can jump into Espeon if we get Dawn as well. But that would require them to like shuffle for us. The super early Greninja though is painful. And they have cape. Which means they survive this as well. Unfortunate, okay. We do have Espeon now. So this always heals. I think we put the energy here. Oh, it's tricky. If we had a Dawn, this changes everything because we swap out, go up to 80, which they could still clear, but then we attack for 80 and then so on. I think we just hit them. This is a tough one, especially maybe this is, no. This is tough, like against Suicune Greninja, especially if they start Suicune Greninja like they have, it's quite difficult. The good thing here is we effectively trade one for, oh, the second Greninja, come on. How many cards? I mean, this is obviously not the best. A lot of the time, you just want them to start Froakie. Double hit on the Espeon, which we can heal up. Oh, they're doing it this way. Okay, well, that's quite good, yeah. Yeah, no cape for the Espeon. It's kind of rough. Really tricky matchup, but honestly, if your opponent starts like this, yeah, it's going to be a tricky matchup. I'm not sure how we get out of this. I guess the other Indeedee, which we have to draw for. Which we don't get. Yeah, let's just quit out of this one. We're not going to win. They just come in with this and go 2, 4, 6. And then they have 2 Greninjas. So yeah, unfortunately, one of those games, Suicune Greninja does Suicune Greninja things. Kind of hard. And our start wasn't really the best either. It would have been quite nice if we got hold of that Dawn maybe. Or a second cape. But hey, that's how it goes. Let's move on to game number 3. Okay, let's go for game number 3. Let's not have the Suicune Greninja, please. Oh, this is dark. This is another kind of tricky matchup. However, we are going second, which is good. I think I like the Eevee first. We'll go Eevee, Indeedee. And then go from there, I think. Okay, this is scary. I'll warn you right now. I promise it's not our deck, but if they turn 3 Hydreigon us, it is what it is. So I think we have to commit to this. We have Copycat. We have to Copycat into Espeon. Maybe I should have played these 2 out as well to increase the chances of drawing it. Or just rip it off the top, you know, there's always that. Cape? Double Espeon, okay. I'm still scared because we still get one shot, but as long as they don't exactly rare candy us, we can do something here. But we are playing a dangerous game. I don't think many decks beat turn 3 Hydreigon. Okay, it's not turn 3 Hydreigon. There's the Mega Absol. Okay, Cape's definitely a start, actually. Unfortunately, this Cape is so annoying. We could actually take them out right now with the EV bag. So we are just going to hit them with Super Cybolt. Maybe they're going Hydreigon the old-fashioned way. If so, we're still going to have an uphill climb, I think. Pokeball, okay. Okay, they're just taking the hit. We have our own Pokeball. Giratina is not really what we're after, unfortunately. I think we play it, though, because Giratina can tank a single hit, right? As long as they just don't Hydreigon us. If we can get some damage on this... Oh, they are putting in Absol. Okay. So they don't have Hydreigon in hand. I mean, they would have evolved last turn, right? If they did, so... Pokeball again. Fine. Now we want Cyrus to only appear the turn we win. So they don't get anything this turn. Okay. Another Indeedee? Nope. Another Espeon isn't bad, actually. We'll put an energy here. We heal. We heal. So that's 110. They're going to do 100. I think I'm actually going to lock in the Eevee bag here. And just cash in the heal right now. We could have cashed in the damage, but the Indeedee actually beats the Absol if it stays in. So even just this level of heal, this could have been a bit better. We could have used the bag for aggression if we drew the Indeedee. But now they've got to make some decisions, and they can't. They don't have it, so there you go. Because the Indeedee actually does pretty well against Absol, because if it's got 2 energy, it deals 90 damage, so it can basically 2-shot an Absol, which is quite nice. And it doesn't get 1-shot in return, because Indeedee has 130 health. And it's kind of the same with Espeon. And 80 plus 90 does the damage pretty much, right, for to deal with the Absol. So it's not too bad at all, as long as you can keep some heals up and swap those two around a lot. So there you go. We beat a Blaziken somehow. We full heal through Blaziken. We lost to the Greninja Suicune God Draw, which it is what it is. And then we did actually beat the Absol with Hydreigon, which is a very scary matchup because Hydreigon just one-shots everything we play, which is very scary, of course. But yeah, just giving you a bit of a highlight on what this sort of sustained Psychic deck focused around Espeon and Indeedee can do. And again, as I mentioned, against Electric, you've got a lot of sustain. Electric doesn't normally hit so hard. And then you have, of course, the Sableye to take out the Oricorio. So yeah, just some highlights. And we got 3 of like the most popular meta decks, pretty much. So yeah, hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to hit like and subscribe. I really do appreciate it. I'll see you next time.